You want to stop suffering almost instantly? Do you want to completely change the way you look at those problems, those pain points? What might be making you feel like you're suffering on the daily basis? This is an exercise that I brought to the group last night, and within minutes, the men from the group were sharing about the life-altering experiences they were having, about how smaller or how easier certain things that had been plaguing them for quite some time now looked. So we're going to talk about contractions and expansions. The world, the universe, it is always contracting, and then it is always expanding after the contraction. What happens when you go to the gym and you work out and you practice your exercises? You're training, right? You're training those muscles. And when you start out, that muscle is in a relaxed state. And then you do a bicep curl and you put some repetition and some intensity on that muscle. And that fucker's getting tight. It's doing some work. Your arm might start shaking. You might start sweating. This works with your emotions too. This works with your feelings. This works with your overall who you are as a man and any problems that you're facing. So the more repetitions you do, the more intensity that you add to this, the more contracting you're getting to do in your life. And what happens after contractions? Well, when it goes back down after the negative, you feel some relaxation. And then what happens 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours later? That muscle starts to grow. It starts to rebuild. And you have that expansion. And so here's what you do. Here's the exercise. It's super quick. You get you a little piece of paper. You jot this down. It takes you less than 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, and you've completely altered your perspective. Anything that feels like a problem right now, anything that's causing you pain, anything that feels like it's inducing suffering in your world, you write that in column 1. And instead of looking at that as a problem or something that's causing you pain, something that's causing you suffering, you look at that. That is now your contraction. Each one of those is a contraction. That is the type of repetitions that you are doing at the gym on that muscle right now. Whether it be your mind, your heart, your soul, whatever name you want to give it, whatever makes the most sense for that particular one. But that's now your contraction. Then you make a second column. And in that second column you write how it's challenging you. So if I'm doing curls at the gym, how is that challenging me? Well, it's making my bicep work. So what in you needs to work? How is this challenging you? Much like the way the curls are challenging your bicep. What part of you is being challenged by this particular contraction phase? And then this is very simple. You make one more column, because that's the relaxation phase. Because in that relaxation, you're taking full responsibility for it. You're looking at that as an exercise that you're going to be doing to train a repetition with some intensity so that you can grow. There's no more victim mentality. There's no more my wife did this to me, or my asshole boss did that to me, or can you believe what that guy did to me? Nothing is happening to you at this point anymore. These are all self-induced behaviors and actions created in your life by the choices that you made that led up to that. And so this is how you're being challenged. This is how you're working out on a daily basis. That's your relaxation. And why am I calling that relaxation? Because if you created that situation, if it's based on a choice that you made, who has to change in order for there to be a solution, in order for there to be growth? Nobody outside of you has to change. Your wife doesn't have to change. Your boss doesn't have to change. The guy down the street that pissed you off doesn't have to change. The only person that has to change is you. You. So in that third column, that's your expansion. And what do? You write out a brief description of the man that you need to become, who's already faced that challenge, who no longer has that problem. You're expanding yourself, expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, expanding your heart. Maybe you just need to add a little more love to the situation, a little more acceptance, a little more tolerance. Maybe you just need to stop fucking making excuses and go do the thing that you committed to doing that's causing this in the first place. Maybe you need to do a little more research on it. Maybe you just need to make a phone call and you need to stop procrastinating on that. And the reason you're procrastinating is because you have a whole list of excuses as to why you can't make that phone call. And you're likely afraid of whatever's on the other side of that phone call, and you probably just need to shut the fuck up and go do it. Just go do it. The one question that comes up occasionally in this is, Aaron, what if I don't know what I would need to do in order to expand? What if I don't know what the version of me looks like that can adequately handle this, that no longer views this as a pain point, no longer views this as something that's challenging or suffering to me? What if I just don't know? And there are going to be scenarios where you may not know the full version of you that needs to exist for that, or what the action is. But what you do know is the next best feeling. You do know what would feel even 1% greater than what you're currently feeling about it right now. So go do that. Because even if you move the needle just 1%, isn't that improvement over the day before? There's 365 days in a year. If you move the needle just 1% every year, look at the compounding effect of that and look at the growth and the results that you get from just 1% every day. So do whatever feels like it's the next best feeling. And now before we part ways here, there's a trap that you might fall in on this, and I want to share this with you so that you don't fall into this trap. A couple guys responded with, well, I could be here all night writing the list of challenges or list of problems or list of pain points and sufferings that I have. Don't get on that ladder to hell. You know, that descending ladder where you start and then it just never ends. This is not to grill yourself. This is not to beat yourself up with. Just pick 2, 3, 4, 5 items. Which 5 do I pick, Aaron? There's so many. Pick the 2 or 3 biggest and start with those. And what do I mean by biggest? The ones that are going to make the most impact on your life. You got to prioritize things. You only have so many hours in a day, so many physical and mental resources to exert at certain things. So start with the items that are going to move the needle the most fastest. If this one's only going to move the needle 1%, but this thing over here is going to move the needle 12%, pick the one that's going to move the needle 12%. You do this long enough, then you're left with those smaller items, those 1 and 2% items. And then you're getting into some fine tuning because you don't have any more of these ginormous issues in your life. You've really simplified things. You've really whittled it down. So that's what I got for you guys today. As always, I love getting to practice with you. Look forward to seeing you next time. If you feel like you're ready to take the leap and go ahead and sign up to work with me, there's contact information in the comments below. If you need a little more information about what that looks like or you have some questions, there'll be a video right up here where you can click on, and that will give you a better understanding of what all I offer, how I can help you, and what it's going to look like to work together. And then from there it might make sense to reach out to me. So as always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments or feel free to DM or email me directly. And as always, fucking love you guys. Fucking love y'all. Thank you for showing up for yourself, and thank you for showing up for me.